When you speak, what do people hear? What kind of an impression are you making when you open your mouth and say something? You're in a meeting, you're in a conversation with a colleague or with a senior member of the staff. You're making a presentation. It doesn't matter if it's in person or if it's online. But when you speak, what do people hear? What kind of impression are you leaving? My name is Michael Williams, and for just a few minutes, I want you to think about this question because it's very important. You and I create and we make an impression on people, sometimes, often, if not almost always, without even opening our mouths. When people look at us, and the reason I know this, first of all, there's been lots of studies, but I've experienced this myself so many times over the years, and it's still surprising, it's still pleasantly surprising, what kind of impression you can make when you walk into the room, when you're just standing there and when people see you, you're making an impression. And imagine the impression that you're making when you speak. When you speak. So the thing that I want you to get here is that when you are sharing your thoughts, when you are answering questions, when you're providing information, how is that other person or how is that audience receiving what you're saying? What kind of an impression are you making on them? Do they see you as someone who's capable, as someone who's intelligent, as someone who knows what they're talking about, as someone that they would like to be influenced by, right? Do they enjoy listening to you, right? Do they and are they able to understand what you're saying? Are they able to follow your thoughts? Okay, these are very, very important questions because they can, they do, and they will, and they have actually impacted your professional life. They'll impact your professional life and they'll impact your personal life. So if you are struggling with your speech, and it may just be because you speak too fast. Maybe in certain speaking situations, you feel rushed. Maybe it's a cultural thing where everyone around you is speaking super fast, but when you do it, it just doesn't come out well, right? Maybe you stumble over your words. Maybe your thinking gets kind of cloudy. Maybe you stutter or stammer, right? Or it may be that, in fact, it's not about speaking too fast. It just may be that you stutter or stammer, or you block, especially when you get anxious or especially when you're in certain speaking situations. So we're talking about the whole range here, from people who don't stutter or stammer, but people who just struggle to smoothly, clearly, and confidently articulate their thoughts, especially in higher pressure speaking situations. And we're talking about the people on the other end of the scale who stutter or stammer or become very, very anxious and just are not able to smoothly, clearly, and confidently articulate their thoughts, okay? The whole range. If this is you, then my question for you is, what are you willing to do to change that impression that you're making on people? And the reason that this is important is because when people see you and they hear you, you're making an impression on them and they carry that impression forward so that when your colleagues, when your employers, when your customers, when your clients think about you, they're going to think about you in a certain way. They're going to think about you as the kind of person that they want to recommend, that they want to hire, that they want to promote, right? That they want to buy from, or they're going to think about you as someone who you're smart, capable, but that person doesn't communicate very well. And we need someone who's going to communicate well. We need someone who's going to be able to be more influential, more persuasive. We need someone who's going to be able to clearly explain, to clearly articulate certain things. And even though this person is brilliant, they're intelligent, they're just not able to do that. That's the impression that people may have of you if you're struggling with your speech. I'm working with someone right now who works at Apple, and this person's clearly super intelligent, very, very smart, and we just started working together not that long ago, and the person told me that they had a meeting, and in this meeting, they were able to clearly make their case, to clearly and confidently make their case, and actually turn around the thinking, the opinion of someone who's in the meeting. Initially, the person said, nope, we don't have any resources for that project right now. Well, this person was able to use the strategies and so forth that he had been learning with me. He's working with me one-on-one. He was able to go into that meeting and actually change that person's mind from, no, we don't have any resources, to, okay, here are some of the resources that you need. So that's just one story. I mean, there's so many others. But what I'm saying to you is that think about the impression that you're making, and people can carry that impression forward, and it's extremely difficult to change that impression, but you can do it. You can do it. So my challenge to you, my invitation actually, is get started now. If you've been working someplace and you've not made the greatest impression in terms of your communication skills, you can turn that around, right? You can turn that around. And in the next video, we'll talk about how you can turn that around. But you can change the way people see you. It's not easy, but it's doable. And guess what? If you start now, you can do it in a relatively short period of time. But it's going to take some work. It's going to take some consistency. It is going to take some investment on your part, an investment of time, and yes, an investment of money. So I want to just invite you to, number one, think about the impression that you're making on people. You are making an impression. When people hear you, do they want to listen to you? I can hear you, but I really don't want to listen. When people hear you and when they listen, are they willing? Do they want to be influenced by you? Do they enjoy listening to you, right? So you're making an impression on people. The only question is, what kind? What kind of an impression? Are you making the impression that you want? If not, you can do something about it in a relatively short period of time, right? Short period of time. Think about how much more life you have to live, how much longer you're going to work. And then think about the fact that within the span of just a few months, you can transform your speech, transform your mindset and your confidence, and begin to make a new, more powerful impression, more influential, more authoritative impression on the people who are around. Just think about that. Within a few short months, you can do it. And then you have the rest of your life to benefit from that. So don't continue to just struggle through life and say, oh, well, no, I'm not sure that would work. Well, no, I don't know if I'm really ready to do that. And then you keep missing opportunities, keep solidifying the current impression of people. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. You can change that around in a relatively short period of time and benefit from that. Benefit from that socially, professionally, obviously financially. You can benefit. So if you're ready to do that, then I want to invite you to just book a session with me. Make sure that you read over all the information and just be ready to move forward and transform your speech. So I'm going to be sharing some other videos with you with regards to this and talk about some very specific ways that you can transform your speech and make a more powerful impression on people. But I wanted to invite you today through this video to get started now, because the sooner you get started, the better off you're going to be. All right. Thank you so much. This is Michael Williams. Go ahead and click the link that's in or around this video and book your private call with me, and then let's get started. We'll see you soon.